Drew, you said the Packers are going to have a
Super Bowl type
last dance, quote unquote, type of season.
I do.
To be fair, the Saints beat the Packers 38-3. Last season, they beat the Buccaneers 38-3, and the Buccaneers went on to win the Super Bowl. Now, are you sounding the alarm on the Packers right now? You know, are you more impressed with Jameis Winston and the Saints, or are you disappointed in the Green Bay Packers?
I'm disappointed by the Green Bay Packers. I mean, when one of the best offenses in the league with three of the best weapons in the NFL combined for 3 points and they don't score a touchdown, I'm disappointed by that. I'm surprised by that. Aaron Rodgers had an abysmal game. Aaron Jones didn't rush for 10 yards. Devontae Adams was in jail by Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore had him in jail to the point where after that game, he signed a contract extension. That's how well he played. He got a contract extension from that game. I was shocked. I mean, you have Devontae Adams, obviously, who is in conversation to be the best receiver in the NFL. Only had around 50 yards, 5 receptions. Again, like I mentioned, Aaron Jones, who, according to the NFL Top 100, is a top 5 running back in the NFL, didn't crack 10 total rushing yards. Now, I am disappointed, but at the same time, it's understandable. Of course, Aaron Rodgers has been in the system for years on years now. But at the same time, this is the first time in his career that he's missed OTAs, missed a few weeks of training camp. So it was expected that they were going to be not as sharp as they will be, as I'm expecting them to be for the rest of the season. So again, disappointing, but not something that I am looking too into. I still believe the Packers are going to be fine. I still think that Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones are going to be top players in the NFL. This was just a bad game, bad showing for them. But on all sides, defensively, the Saints were able to do whatever they wanted. The Packers couldn't stop a nosebleed. Kamara was doing whatever he wanted. Jameis, I think, what did he have? Like 111 yards, something around that. 5 touchdowns. The Packers couldn't do anything right. So, of course, I'm disappointed. But again, I'm not thinking too much about it.
I picked the Saints to win. And just want to keep throwing that out there.
You were hesitant.
No, not really.
No, he picked the Saints and he said the Packers.
No,
he did do that.
No, he did not.
I picked the Saints and I said where it's at, and you was like, it's at the Superdome, but it doesn't really matter. And I was like, should I go back? No, you know what? I'm gonna stick to my guts and I'm gonna pick the Saints.
That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly how.
No, that's not what I said. I said it's not there because of the hurricane.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yes. But the dialogue after was the same way. Correct. I was like, I'm gonna stick to my guns and I'm gonna say. So
all right, Auden Tate.
Yeah. You keep referencing this Last Dance stuff, and it's interesting because the way the Last Dance started in '98, the Bulls actually played pretty bad in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So that's actually funny. No, but Jameis Winston, he looked really good. You know, he looked like a smarter quarterback than what he's looked like in previous years. The Saints on the offensive line and the defensive line completely just dominated the Green Bay Packers. You know, the turnover battle, it wasn't even close. Aaron Rodgers looked rushed a lot of the times. He looked very uncomfortable, and that's a rare sighting for Aaron Rodgers to look uncomfortable in the game. Marshawn Lattimore, you know, we've seen him in this division lock up Mike Evans all the time. Yeah. We've seen him have inconsistent performances, but, you know, not a lot of guys can do that to Devontae Adams. And he came out week 1 and he did that to him, and that was very impressive. Like you said, he got that extension right after, which is hilarious.
He is injured, though, which is
the fact that the Saints have this cap space is unbelievable.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. They're geniuses. Whoever's in that head office.
It's Mickey Loomis.
Genius.
He's great.
Jameis scored 5 TDs without his best receiver. You know, and a lot of it was really just managing the game, making smart decisions, reading with the defense again. And a lot of things that Jameis hasn't shown us on a consistent basis, he did it in one game. You know, so I think this team, that defense is still there. It's a very, very strong group. That offensive line is still one of the best in the game. Alvin Kamara, you know, he didn't play his best game, but he was still effective. I think this team has a chance to really do some things. You know, it's still week 1, but this is one of the best teams in the NFC, and they completely obliterated them. So, you know, shout out to Jameis Winston. He did his thing. Shout out to New Orleans Saints because I thought they were going to win regardless. Just didn't think it would be a blowout. But Jameis looked really, really, really impressive.
He looked sharp.
This is one of the games that I have not watched yet. I'm going to watch it tomorrow along with other games that I missed. I can't wait to watch it, though. 148 yards, 5 touchdowns. I want to see how that happened. But, of course, he had 5 touchdowns. And this is another proud dad moment for me. Mac Jones plays phenomenal. Then Jameis Winston, who I've been high on for 2 years. Since he left Tampa. And, Riv now saying, oh, Saints, Jameis. But when he left the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this was the guy that was hating on Jameis. And I said, you're going to regret that because Jameis can still be a franchise guy.
This guy is crazy.
Can't give you props, man.
No, he hates.
This guy's crazy
because he does that. He'll bring up what I said, but never remember when I rebuttal. He'll just forget what he rebuttals. Just brings up my first take.
So
cool
okay, no.
You can have your moment.
After a while, he said, Jameis can be great. Okay, whatever. His original take was hating on Jameis, and I had to stand firm on Jameis, and I've had this take for 2 years now.
I'd say you pulled the tweets back up.
Take your glory moment.
I have been high on Jameis, and he's my pick to win comeback player of the year. I was more impressed with the Saints and Winston because they beat the Packers, who were the number 1 team in the NFC last season. They embarrassed them.
Yep.
And this is a Saints team that people I see record predictions and standings. The consensus is, they're 7-10, they're 8-9. They don't have them making the playoffs. And me, I'm like, no, they're a 10-7, 11-win team. They're a 10 or 11-win team, and that's easy for me. Drew Brees, as great as he's been for his entire career, Hall of Fame career, no doubt about it. Drew Brees, the past 2 seasons, has been holding the Saints back. His numbers it doesn't look that way, but he doesn't throw the ball down the field, which is why the offense has been held back. But Sean Payton has proved it doesn't matter if I have Teddy or Taysom Hill or Winston, I can win games. You look at Jameis Winston's numbers in Tampa Bay and compare them versus Drew Brees' numbers in San Diego with the Chargers. Winston has better numbers. And Brees, when he paired up with Sean Payton, had a Hall of Fame career. Mm-hmm. Is Winston going to be a Hall of Famer? There's a chance it can happen.
Okay.
Winston, I think this is his chance right now. And, man, he's just such a good guy to root for. After the game, they asked him, what advice did you get? And he said, my trainer just told me to be prepared. What did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
Yeah.
And then in his post-game interview, he said this win was for the city of New Orleans. He said, he talked to the city directly and said, this is for you guys. We're going to make this a great season. We're going to play for you guys every week. I mean, this guy cares about the city and the community. And I think this is a guy that Saints fans are going to learn or going to want to rally behind and really prop Jameis up. I think he's going to be the guy for years to come with the Saints. And I firmly believe in that opinion. But the Packers were abysmal. Aaron Rodgers.
They're so bad.
Aaron Rodgers, 2 interceptions, completed 53% of his passes. Worst game he's probably played in his entire career.
This is the biggest blowout.
Aaron Jones was bad, but I've talked a lot about offensive lines on this episode, and it's going to be a common occurrence throughout the season because that's what make or breaks a team. They moved Elgton Jenkins from guard to left tackle because David Bakhtiari is out. Now, on the inside of the offensive line, they have Lucas Patrick, Josh Myers, and Royce Newman. A lot of guys are saying right now, who are those guys? And that's exactly right. Who are those guys? Billy Turner at right tackle is okay, but this offensive line was bad yesterday.
It was.
And I said that
2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah, you're right, on Sunday. David Bakhtiari is out until at least week 7. Mm-hmm. They face Washington. I think they face San Fran. All I know is that they face some elite defensive lines before Bakhtiari comes back. And that's going to be a problem for them. They didn't play Corey Linsley, but they paid a running back, which is always a bad decision to make.
Agreed.
And that's where I think they're going to start going downhill because of this offensive line, but they were bad. But also the Saints, man, I just want to say this real quick. Their defense is really great. Their secondary is really good. Marshawn Lattimore, yeah, he's the big name because, he shut down Devontae and rightfully so. But Paulson Adebayo, I think that's how you say his name. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to call him Paulson.
Chauncey's tough, too.
Out of Stanford. He was their pick this season, rookie cornerback. He had an interception on Rodgers. He was phenomenal. They're also getting Bradley Roby. Bradley Roby,
Facts.
week 1 was suspended. Week 2, he's good to go. So with Marshawn Lattimore, Bradley Roby, Paulson, and eventually if Brian Poole comes back, now we're looking at a secondary that features Malcolm Jenkins and Marcus Williams and Lattimore with Poole, with Roby, with Paulson. I mean, this can be a top secondary in the league very fast, and this can be one of the more formidable teams. I think they're going to be a great team this year, the Saints. I don't know if they'll win the division because I still got Tampa, of course, and I had them last year too, even though Saints won. But the Saints are going to be a great team, and there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I'm happy for Winston. I'm really happy for Winston.
Me too, man.
Jameis.
I just would have. Obviously, he didn't need the yards.
He had 5 TDs.
5 touchdowns.
He blew your boy
Obviously, which one?
Green Bay.
I mean, I guess they're my now boys.
I mean, you said Last Dance, Green Bay.
I'm showing them respect. They just made 2 NFC championships.
Lost.
In all actuality, he wants them to do bad.
I do. He's right.
If they
Let
do
him know.
bad, Rodgers
Let him know.
is free.
That makes a little bit more sense.
He's coming to Denver, baby.